I'm Splatter Joe, and you're watching the Joe Chaos Show.
Hey guys, Splatter Joe here. Just wanted to take a minute to talk to you about the new format. Decided to expand my interviews to things other than bands. Today's will be the first one of that. We'll interview a voice actor slash artist slash, you'll find out in the interview. His name is Daniel XIII. And I'm going to expand it and make the interviews longer and more conversation-like. Get a little more deeper into who these people are and why I think they're interesting enough to want to interview. So, check it out. We'll get to that. You have 3 challenges to face today on the show.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And
on 4 hours of sleep, that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, on obscure topics too.
Great,
so
great.
That's even better.
I can't wait.
But for people that don't know, you're Daniel XIII. You're an author.
Yep.
An artist.
Yep.
A voice actor.
Yep.
An expert in all things horror.
We'll find out.
And it says all-around swell guy.
That one is true.
These I found on the internet. That's not my opinion.
That is. I have a good PR department going there. I wonder who's writing that stuff about.
Actually, I wrote it. I lied. So first, I'm going to talk about The House of 13 Doors.
Okay.
Your novel.
Yep.
I'm also a writer, and I'm having a really hard time finishing. So that's the most, like, out of all those accomplishments, that's the one that's like, holy fuck, he's doing something.
Yep.
So let's talk about it.
All right. Ask away.
Ask away.
I'm an open book.
Well, I read the book,
Yep.
but most people don't know about it. So it's obviously a horror novel.
It is, yeah.
Or novella.
It's a novella, yeah. It's super short. That's why it's only 99 cents. It is horror. It's got a lot of gothic thriller overtones to it, maybe some dark fantasy, an evil fairy tale. I mean, it could be a lot of different things, I guess.
When I read it, I thought of an author called Edward Lee, which I mentioned, but you never heard of him.
Right.
He writes a lot of crazy, demonic, sexual kind of things. It had a little bit of overtones of that, but it had a very classic feel to it too. Like almost like Bram Stoker with the Dracula, like how he seduces the girl.
Yep.
I felt a lot of that in there, a lot of that influence.
Yeah, there's a lot of Stoker. There's a lot of Poe, some Lovecraft, Le Fanu, just a lot of really, your heavy hitters of Gothic literature.
Right, right. And you said the book's only 99 cents. You can get it on Kindle. Is there anywhere else you can get it, or is it just Kindle?
Just Kindle. Just Kindle at the moment.
Go out and get a Kindle if you don't have one, assholes. They're not that cheap.
And even if you don't have one and you're a cheap fuck, you can get the app for free.
That's right. Yeah, you can.
So you don't even have to.
You don't have to buy a Kindle. You can just read it on your computer.
Yep.
It's worth it. I bought like 5 copies of it on a couple Christmases ago and gave them out to my friends to read. Whether they read them or not, I don't know.
I hope they did.
Darren. He's one of them. So artwork. You've done artwork for album covers.
I have.
So do you want to do some name dropping or?
Yeah, I did some promotional work, poster work, T-shirt design for a band called the Love Hammers. I've done cover design and poster design for Michael Graves, ex-Misfits vocalist. I did a lot of single artwork for covers and things for a band called the Von Frankensteins.
Okay.
They have now changed into another band called Lucifer Jones, and they're pretty good. Boy, I don't know if I'm forgetting any. I think that's it as far as the band artwork is concerned.
How do you get a job like that? They contact you, you contact them?
I'm pretty bold. Like, I'll go up to people and say, hey, you have a new release coming out. Do you have artwork? I can do it for this amount, or this, that, or the other thing. With Michael, he's a guy I've known since the late 90s, just talking to him after shows and things, and then we developed a friendship and whatnot. And
that's cool.
Yeah, so I just have done things for him on the side. I also did some writing for his website, just promotional stuff, blurb stuff, a while ago too.
Cool. That's cool. It's good business to be in. I think it's more fun, rewarding to see your art on an album cover that's going to be spread around forever,
Oh,
Then
yeah.
they like draw something and somebody buys it, hangs it in their house, and nobody ever sees it.
Yeah, and it's cool too, and it's surreal because like the photograph that is on the cover for his Halifax live CD is actually a picture of my wife that I took. But I did it all with 1800s equipment. It was a cyanotype, so it's all glass. You shine light through glass over a solution on paper, and
Okay,
it makes
yeah.
the image appears. Old
school
techniques.
Yeah, that sounds cool, man. Next, I have your voice acting, which we've gotten into recently.
Yeah.
I helped you record some of that stuff.
Yep.
How does one find a job doing Italian horror movie voice acting?
Well, it's weird. Before last summer, I had never even thought of acting at all. A guy that I interviewed for Famous Monsters, David Weaver, made a movie in Amsterdam called The Last Frankenstein, and he had me cameo in it as a paramedic, of all things. And then I had developed a relationship with an Italian company called Necrostorm through my writing with Famous Monsters of Filmland, which I'm sure we'll get to. I'm sure that's on the itinerary.
Yeah, that'll be next.
And they were in a bind, and they were looking for people that could speak English. They released their movies in English, even though they're Italian, but it's all dubbed because they don't use a lot of sound on set, just for financial reasons. So they're like, hey, what do you sound like? So I went and did some El Cheapo recordings in my garage of my voice, and they liked it. And then I was like, called you up begging for a favor, and the rest is history. Now I'm in their movie, The Mildew from Planet Zoander. It's coming out soon. You can pre-order it, I believe, this week.
Really? I'm going to have to get a copy of that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can.
I've heard the lines, you say them, and I'm like, what the fuck is this movie
Yeah.
about? Now I got to see it.
Yeah, if you go to Necrostorm, their Facebook page, they have all these stills that they're releasing, and it's a pure old school style, like 50s drive-in movie mixed with ultra gore and splatter,
That's cool, yeah.
with a little bit of Escape from New York mixed in.
It's a good mix. Also, you write for Famous Monsters.
Yep. Yeah, Famous Monsters of Filmland. Have my own column on there. The Outre Eye of Daniel XIII. It's a review column, interview column, a little bit of everything. Sometimes I do promo blurbs for people. I just started reviewing books in there and comic books and whatever people send me.
Yeah. Is it mostly horror oriented?
All
Always?
horror. Yeah, maybe a little sci-fi will creep in here and there, but it has to fit that criteria.
Right,
My
so-
editor would just be like, "No, you can't. Can't do
Who
that."
gives a shit about that? It's not horror.
Right. She's like, "Oh, you want to do a western?" I did sneak some westerns in that were like horror oriented, like Bone Tomahawk and things like that had cannibals in it.
What was that? Gunfighters from Hell or whatever? That
That's,
old...
yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No, it's not like that. It's Kurt Russell's in it, and he leads this little party out to retrieve these people that these cannibal Indians stole, but it turns out that they're just really horrible monsters.
That's a
And,
classic
yeah,
Western story right
yeah,
there.
it sure is, boy. The kids will come clamoring.
Straight up
for
John
that.
Wayne.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, so I came up with 3 challenges for you,
All right.
and you must pass all 3 of them to leave my house.
Oh God, I might be living here.
I was going to give you a prize, but I was like, I don't have anything. The only thing I have is the Halloween DVD. Well, I already gave you one. So,
You already gave me one, right?
So you have to give it back if you fail.
Awesome.
Or pay for it. No.
Okay,
All right, anyway.
done deal.
We've talked a little bit on Facebook back and forth about hypothetical situations that are just things that normal people don't talk about.
Right.
So some of those came from some of the ideas. The first challenge is in the War of Hyphenated Heroes. Okay, who would win between He-Man and Lion-O?
Oh, He-Man would win because he can move mountains and I mean, maybe he could just call up his sister. Like, there's literally an episode of She-Ra where she chucks her sword into a moon on her magical flying Pegasus unicorn thing, and she pulls it out of orbit. And, like, I mean, you can't. Lion was cool, but you just can't do that.
That would destroy like all life on that planet, wouldn't it?
Well, they don't give a fuck. You know, they're like gods. They're masters of the universe.
True, yeah,
Right.
that's
They
true.
do what they want.
I can see that. So you think the Sword of Omens compared to Power Sword, there's no Power Sword's better, you think?
You know, I think
I mean,
power-wise, like the Sword of Omens is cooler because it actually does stuff. He-Man's sword really doesn't do anything besides turn him into He-Man and Cringeor into Battle Cat.
Yeah, it's like instant steroids. That's all it is.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't do anything. It's
Without that, he's just some,
Right,
Prince
like,
Valiant, or
Lion-O's
ripoff.
expands and the little things come up and he can look through it and his eyes glow and it sends out the cat signal or whatever the hell you want to call it. And
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cooler sword.
it is.
definitely.
Yeah, visually it's cool.
Growing up, I loved He-Man, but I loved Thundercats more. I'm not sure why. I went back and rewatched them all, and I'm like, both of them were kind of stupid. But at the I do like, even today, watching them all, the old ones again, I can't get through a He-Man episode, but I can watch Thundercats.
Thundercats were a little bit more sophisticated, I think. He-Man was just about, well, we better put a moral in here, and we got to make it a, I guess Thundercats had morals too, but I don't know. There's just something about it.
Get your pet spayed and neutered. That's the moral.
Yeah, right. He-Man, even down to the premiere episode of Thundercats. They're naked in that premiere episode. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? And then I don't know. There's just more to it. There's more characters to it. I love He-Man. I love Skeletor. I love Trapjaw and all those guys. And visually, I think they're awesome. But in the cartoon, I think the Thundercats definitely wins.
Snarf versus Cringer. Not Attack Cat, but Cringer. Because Attack Cat would be more fun to watch him tear apart Snarf.
I guess I'll go with Snarf because he's like a nanny. He can take care of you. He can cook you a meal. He can change your litter box, whatever the hell he's up to.
No, Man-at-Arms, he's kind of like the Panthro of Eternia.
Yeah.
If you look at, you can actually pick out the people.
Yeah, there's equivalents.
And the equivalents of, and even Skeletor and Mum are both undead. Both villains. They both have mutated beastmen lackeys.
Yeah.
It's basically the same cartoon.
It's the same concept.
There's a giant sword. There's,
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that, but yeah.
I started thinking about the similarities between the two. There's quite a bit. So that's the first test. I think you passed.
That's good. That was easy. I feel good. I feel confident now.
And the second test is a little bit harder. It's hairband lyrics.
All right. All right, let's see what I can do.
Originally, it was going to be 80s song lyrics, but I'm like, well, there were still some hairbands in 1990. And,
even further, even into 91, 92.
I'm like, so I'll just call them hairband, because that's basically, I'll start the phrase, and then you have to finish it.
Oh, God. All right, I hope I'm up to this.
Now, the funny thing is, my wife was born in 82.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her these, she got 2 right.
Out of how many?
5.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
But she got the most obscure one right. One that I don't think anybody would get.
Weird.
And I'll tell you which one when we get there.
All right.
The first one I thought I'd start with an easy one.
Okay.
It's when I get high on speed.
Oh,
a top fuel blank.
Top fuel funny car. When I get high, getting high on speed. Top fuel funny car. Is it All I Need?
No, it's a drug for me.
It's a drug for me. That's right. Kickstart My Heart, Motley Crue.
I figured that'd be an easy one.
It is easy, but I'm like I said, my brain is just. I'm so tired.
Number 2. Out on the streets, that's where we'll meet. You make the night, I always blank.
It's fucking rap. What the hell is that? You're killing me. I know what these songs are. Out on the street, that's where we'll meet. What is it? Out on the street, that's where we'll meet.
You make the night, I always blank the blank.
I always. Is it something light? I don't know.
You're failing bad.
Yeah, I know it.
I always cross the line.
I always cross the line. Is that really what he says?
Yes, I had to look these up because I wasn't sure.
That doesn't even sound, I believe you, but that doesn't even sound accurate.
There's parts in that song that doesn't make sense. It's one part it sounds like he says the pizza sells. I'm like, he's talking about food or what the
pizza sells.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Totally it does.
All right, so
you should just ask me to name the band and the singer and the song.
So far, you got good for the band names.
We need to edit this fucker out.
Yeah,
okay.
The third one is, love is all around you. Love is knocking outside your door.
It's all around you.
Keep going.
Outside your door, waiting just for you. Is this love that's meant for two?
Something like that, yeah.
Built for two?
It's waiting for you. Is this love just for two?
Just for two.
Keep an open heart.
I know. Tesla, man. I know.
Don't they have a new album out?
Yeah.
I haven't heard it.
I haven't either.
I think I saw a commercial on TV. I'm like, holy fuck, they're still around?
Yeah, they're still around.
All right, this is the one.
I know these songs. This is so terrible. You should come up with some more so we can.
This is the one my wife got right.
All right.
Which didn't make sense to me. I'm not trying to fake it, and I ain't the one to blame. There's no one home in my blank.
In my house of pain.
Yeah,
Faster Pussycat. There's no way I'm not getting that.
You got that.
There's no way I'm not getting that.
But how the hell did she get it?
I don't know.
Question.
I have no idea. She's just a big Faster Pussycat fan.
I don't think she's ever heard the words Faster Pussycat, let alone the band.
Good. I love Faster Pussycat. They're still around as well.
Yes, I just watched that metal show, and I saw the singer on there, and I'm like, holy fuck, that's what made me think of that song.
Oh, that's such a good song. Such a good song. I love that song.
It was
I
him.
I got it too.
Him, Mark Slaughter, and a singer from the Black Veil Brides were on it at the same time. That was an odd
combo.
Yeah, but he just pretty much he was very respectful of the older people,
Yeah.
which is kind of neat.
Yeah, it is.
I expect kids to be dicks, but
Nah, because they owe a huge debt. I mean, come on, they look like Shout at the Devil and Motley Crue. For
you got one more.
All right. I feel good about that faster pussy thing.
Well, I ain't evil. I'm just good looking. Start a little fire and baby start cooking. I'm a hungry man, but I don't want pizza. I'll blow down your house and then.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. And then I'll eat you?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna eat you. Feed my Frankenstein.
That's Feed My Frankenstein? Fucking Alice Cooper? What the hell is wrong with me today?
I figured that one was a given.
Don't do drugs, kids. Just don't. Don't start. That's not true. That's not what. Don't believe that. That's not.
Don't stop doing drugs.
That's not what's wrong with me. Drugs would probably make it better.
So since you review stuff for kind of like a living, we're gonna.
More hair metal. I feel like I've got one. I got one fucking right, but I knew all the bands.
You did know all the bands. I was gonna pick like really weird like Trickster songs.
I was ready for Trickster. I was ready for Pretty Boy Floyd. I was ready for
Danger.
Yeah. I was ready for all of them.
I heard a Danger song. I was like, what the fuck song is this? I'd never heard this song before. The only song by them I knew was Naughty Naughty. Mm-hmm. I had the tape, the cassette, kids, and it was a ballad off that album. I didn't know that.
I was ready. Like I studied up. I was like listening to some Cinderella on the way over. Like I'm gonna nail this, and then I fucked it up.
Yeah. The third challenge should be easier though.
Yeah.
The third challenge is you got to find enough nice things to say about Blue Laser Films' 1985 classic, Hard Rock Zombies. You have to fill 3 minutes of time without saying anything negative about this. And when you're done, I'll give you my review of this.
All right.
For those at home, Hard Rock Zombies.
Hard Rock Zombies is, without a doubt, one of the greatest rock and roll horror films that I've ever seen, because much like the rock and roll genre, it gives zero fucks. It's filled with Nazis. There's a werewolf. There's midgets that eat themselves. There's a guy with a mustache and a mullet that you won't believe, and they just storm into town. There's random scenes of skateboarding. There's a bass riff that can raise the dead. I mean, like, it has it all. Like, you will not be bored 1 second when you're watching that film. It has inappropriate romance. 3 minutes, huh?
I haven't timed it, so I have no idea.
I have a good story about it. I was dating a girl in the 80s, and she wanted to come over and watch a movie. Yeah, I'm old, kids. And she wanted to come over and watch a movie, and she's like, it didn't have this cover to it.
Yeah, there's a different cover.
It had more of a, this reminds me of the cut scenes from, well, we'll get to that. I'll tell you what it reminds me of after, because that's going to eat up too much time. But it had more like the guys look more like Kiss on the cover. And she's like, this is going to be great. This is like Kiss made a horror movie. And I'm like, well, they kind of already fucking did in '78, Phantom of the Park. But she's like, hey, no, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And we sat down and we watched it. And it was a life-changing ordeal for me. It explains a lot of how I am today. I think this deserves a Blu-ray release with the soundtrack album, because it has great songs, which I'm sure you're going to talk about, like Cassie.
Yes, Cassie.
And
the classic.
The classic tune, Cassie. There's a love dreamy sequence where he's all in like white leather, from what I can recall,
yes,
and they're just like walking through fields with sunlight and everything. Their love is so pure, but too bad she's like 10 years old and he's like 30. This guy, E.J. Curse, is actually still around.
Yeah, he was just in something else. I looked him up on IMDb.
He does a lot of sexy dude calendars. Not that I've been looking for that sort of material online, but if that's your bag, that's cool too. Yeah, I'd say definitely. Like if I could like produce a special edition Blu-ray DVD, this would be the film that I would probably choose. My second one would have been Rock and Roll Nightmare, but they already did that one. So
if you go on IMDb and look at the cast, there's only 2 people, that guy you just mentioned, and one other one actually has a picture.
Phil Fondacaro, the midget that's in it?
Yeah.
The dwarf, little person, whatever you're supposed to say.
The guy that played, what was his name on Willow?
He was the guy, the second guy, Migosh.
Migosh, that's it. I couldn't think of it. Yeah,
he's Migosh. He's in a ton of Full Moon stuff, too.
Is he?
Yeah, and he was in that Empire became Full Moon, but the Empire movie Troll, he's in that too. The first, not Troll 2, which is a great movie too, but for other reasons.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one another day.
Yeah, we should. We definitely
That's
should.
probably 3 minutes or close enough.
I love it. That's it. I recommend it. It'll change your life. It'll make you question the existence of movies in general, basically. I can't wait to hear what you're going to fucking say.
I started to write a review, and then I realized it was like a page of ranting scene by scene about everything that's wrong with this movie.
There's nothing, don't believe him, there's nothing wrong with this movie.
So I'll just read a little bit of what I wrote, and then I'll skip ahead because I don't want to get into it. When I found this movie, it was at a local supermarket in a $5 bin. And I looked at it and I said, Hard Rock Zombies.
That couldn't have been like a Price Chopper. That'd be
it
like,
was Price Chopper.
Really?
Johnstown.
I would have said like Great American or like something like that.
I was like, Hard Rock Zombies. I like Hard Rock. I like zombies. I got the $5 they want for it. How could I go wrong? Then I brought it home and found out how I went wrong. Oh. I got this the same place I got Never Too Young to Die.
Oh,
which we'll talk about another time as well. Because that needs a...
And that ties into Kiss Meets the Phantom. It's all cyclical.
See, I love cheesy movies, cheesy B movies, Troma, all those. I can't get enough of them. So this is right up there with all of them. But there's so many problems with this movie. Like, I've seen B movies that shouldn't have been B movies, and I've seen B movies that are well written to be a B movie, and they embraced it. But this one looked like it was trying to be something it couldn't be, but they didn't know how the hell to do it. It just, oh my God. So
I'd like to state for the record that you introduced me to Zombie Lake, and you're ripping this movie apart.
I have the special edition Zombie Lake on
So
VHS.
I have it on DVD.
I don't have it on DVD. Problems with this movie. Number one, the hard rock isn't very hard rock.
No.
The zombies aren't very zombie-like.
They're more like robots.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When they're moving, they're like...
They got that cool song, though, that you hate. I'm sure I won't steal your thunder on that, though.
Werewolves, Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. There's cannibalism. There's... what I did is I went down and got IMDb's synopsis of this movie. This is what it says. A hard rock band travels to the tiny and remote town of Grand Guignol to perform, peopled by hicks, rubes, werewolves, murderous dwarves, sex perverts, and Hitler.
That's true.
The town is a strange place, but that doesn't stop the band's lead singer from falling in love with a local girl named Cassie. She's got to be like 13 at most.
Girl is the word that they used.
After the Nazi sex perverts kill the band to satisfy their lust, Cassie calls the rockers back from the grave to save her, the town, and maybe the world.
I don't really remember Cassie doing much of that. It was
she played their song that raised them from the dead.
Right, but it was their
he already recorded.
He already recorded it with that spider sequence.
He squashed a spider and like chicken gravy came out of it, and then next scene is crawling around again. He's like, "How many times do I have to kill this? This is a weird species of spider."
Yeah, he doesn't even question it.
Because his mullet grew into his head and lost his brain power, I think is what happened. So here's a list of facts that I came up with from this movie. Fact number 1. Cassie's like 13. The singer of the band's like 30.
If even 13.
He writes a love song for her. The first line of the song is this: "I'm so in love, but you're so young. When you touch my hand, does that mean we're in love?" Does that make any fucking sense at all?
No.
I mean, even in the 80s, that wouldn't have flown. That was so bad.
I can assure you, I saw that in the 80s, and it really didn't. I mean, I loved it, but it didn't fly.
The next fact is the musical montage right before they get arrested. You talked about earlier with the skateboard scene, and they're like dancing on the bridge.
Yeah.
It's got to be the gayest thing I've ever seen. Like, I would rather watch Dancing in the Streets music video again than have to watch that scene. It's so lame.
It's pretty
the
bad.
Shenanigans they're up to, like, we're a big bad metal band and we're gonna wreck your town.
Yeah,
like
they skateboard around, they dance around.
They had that big like wooden cutout with their heads cut out
of
themselves, and then they take pictures of themselves in it because that's cool.
Which is fucking redundant.
Because that's what hard rock people do.
They do. I know they do. I know hard rock guys, and that's what you do.
I know.
You roll into town.
I do. I
you got a
build a thing
out of yourself and do a little rad skateboarding.
Another fact is you could have done without the Hitler and Ava sex scene.
I couldn't have.
They're like 70, whatever, and the midgets are there, and she's like, "Oh, let them watch." He's like, "But they're our grandchildren." Remember?
Yeah, I do.
And then he's like, "You can look, but don't touch."
Actually, I think that was necessary for the narrative.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
I'm a professional. I know what I'm talking
Another,
about.
yeah, you are a professional reviewer. I am not.
Yeah, well,
Both the hard rock element and the zombie element are disappointing. I did point that out earlier. I mean, the hard rock sounds like Blue Oyster Cult at best. And this is
Yeah.
1985 with so much like Shout the Devil was out, and Shout the
Right.
Devil sounds
I was 2 years old by that point.
85 times heavier than.
See, I knew what year it came out, but I don't know any fucking lyrics from anything.
I didn't ask
Even
you
though
to
Kickstart
shout.
My Heart wasn't from there yet.
That was on Dr. Feelgood,
Dr.
which I
Feelgood.
think came out in 90 or 89.
89.
Because every album of theirs came out in an odd year, I believe.
Yeah, because Shout at the Devil was 83. What was next?
Theater of Pain was 85.
85. 87 was Girls, Girls, Girls. And
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I had a shirt and I had like all the release dates. That's
Right.
one year I memorized. It's 81, 83, 85.
Yeah. I know that stuff.
I gave up like somewhere around a decade of decadence. I just stopped buying their albums, but I still listen to them. When they get electrocuted,
Yeah.
remember on the porch?
Yep.
Hitler flips a switch and or the little midget on the balcony. There's a boom mic drop. You can see it come right down in her face.
That's really the least of that movie's problems.
It's like that much of the boom mic,
I
not like a
found it-
little nipple of boom mic. It's like a huge cock of boom mic right in her face. You can't miss it.
No, that movie sticks a huge cock in your face in general, so that boom mic is right in line with the rest of it.
I have one more thing to say about this movie, and that is these are other movies that came out in 1985. So this is the contemporary to this movie. Day of the Dead, Friday the 13th, New Beginning,
Yeah.
Reanimator, like one of my favorite movies.
It is a great
Return of the Living Dead,
Also great.
another great movie. Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
one. I mean, all those movies that you mentioned are really classic.
And fuck, even Ghoulies came out in 1985, which is still a better movie than Hard Rock Zombies.
Right, and Ghoulies was an Empire movie who made Troll that starred Phil Fondacaro. See, it's all just one big snake eating its own tail. I know this crap, but I can't tell you rat lyrics.
From what I read online, because I tried to look it up, this movie wasn't supposed to be made. It was like a little scene that was supposed to be in another
Yeah.
movie. Then they're like, "Oh, throw a couple more,
Yep.
$1,000 in it, we'll make it a movie."
Yep, that is true.
So I guess you can't blame them for that.
No, that other movie actually came out, and there are scenes from that film in that.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, something about drive-in.
American Drive-In or something like that. It's probably terrible too, though.
It's only one way to find out.
That guy only directed 2 movies, and that one and this one.
I wonder what he's doing. Like, I wonder, if he sits back and he's just like, I did good.
He's like, yeah, I'm proud of
I
myself.
got 2 movies under my belt. They're fantastic films.
Like the guy that directed Troll 2. Like, you see that documentary?
I did.
When he's like, "Yeah, we really broke barriers on modern on
don't
filmmaking," and like he took himself so seriously. I'm like, dude, you made Troll 2. It's like the worst.
Is he coming out of the grave, or did somebody put him in cement and he's coming out of wet cement?
It's dripping off his flame guitar. So
He doesn't have that guitar in the movie either.
no, I don't. He played bass in the movie.
Yeah,
not even guitar.
Yeah, he was the bass player. Yeah, well, singer, bass player.
bass player, singer. Well, in that one scene, there's the other guy's playing bass, and he's just singing.
Does it really matter?
When they do Cassie.
Right. But I mean, in the long run, does it? I mean, he could have a tuba and run down the street, and it wouldn't make it.
I love it when they audition for the radio exec, and he's the only one in the theater, and they're zombies by then too.
They are.
They
Yeah.
drive a van.
Yep.
And they go to the book their band as zombies.
Well, come on, Michael Myers can drive. Why can't they?
And the drummer is playing, and you hear a drum roll, and he's like, it's like do 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 do. It's like
Well, he's a zombie. That's
It's
a
like-
supernatural powers.
it's like what's his name from AC/DC? He only plays the one beat every song, so it's the same.
it's easy to remember.
Yeah. So those are your 3 tests. I think we did good on the last one. I think it made up for the.
The last one was good. The first one was okay. The second one was shaky. I feel so bad, because I know so much about that music. Believe that or not.
I was gonna throw a Cinderella song in there. I was gonna throw Gypsy Road
See, I would have known.
because
that.
everybody knows you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
So that's actually the first video I ever saw on MTV.
Really, what an introduction.
I didn't have MTV growing up. I grew up in Edinburgh, which is boonies.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first moved to Northville, we had cable. I was like, oh, MTV. 1989, I think. Turn it on, and that's the first video I saw.
It changed your life.
It did. Like, I listened
Started wearing purple sequin jackets and scarves and everything.
when I was in 6th grade. No, when I was 6 years old. My dad gave me $5, and he took me to Ames. No, it wasn't for Ames. Zayre's.
Zaire.
And he's like, you can buy any tape you want, but whatever because he liked country.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm going to buy you one that I like, and you can buy one that you like, and then you can make a decision what you want to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
He bought me Charlie Daniels Band, which I didn't mind and I bought Quiet Riot Metal Health for $5.
Good choice.
At 6 years old, and that was got
choice.
my first introduction to metal. And then by 5th grade, I was listening to Anthrax, and then what was your first?
My first metal album?
First album altogether.
Rock album? First album was...
Banana Splits.
yeah, it was Banana Splits. Yeah. No, it was a Kiss album. Was it Love Gun or Alive 2? It was one of those two. It was definitely one of those two, but I don't remember which one I got first. I don't remember.
There's a guy that lived next...
There was a Queen album I had, too, at that time. Queen 2, I think I had by that time. 70s.
There's a guy that lived next to us in an apartment. He used to give me tapes. First Kiss album I got, he handed it to me. He handed me 2 tapes. He handed me Kiss, Lick It Up, and Iron Maiden Power Slave. Which one do you think I listened to?
Iron Maiden. I mean, because I know you. I mean, I know at that time, in all honesty, I know which one I would have listened to, and I totally did, and it was Lick It Up. But then,
I listened to it, but I just didn't. I don't know.
We've had this conversation.
Yeah, not a big fan of Kiss.
I know you're not, and I like them. So it's.
My older sister loved Kiss. She had the color form. She had all.
I have the color form set. I still have it. I love that, and I had the Mego Barbie style dolls, and I had. I still have
action figures. They're not
action. No, those were dolls. I have the Todd McFarlane Kiss ones. My wife actually got them for our anniversary one year. A full set of them, mint on card.
I had the Metallica ones. They got broke though.
I have the Motley Crue ones too.
Yeah.
With a stage. They come with a big stage. They're the Shout at the Devil era ones.
Nice.
Yeah. You wouldn't know that from my epic failing of the trivia, but.
What's your first horror movie you ever saw?
First horror movie I ever saw. I saw a lot. I mean, they're not really horror. I saw a lot of Godzilla movies growing up when I was like 3, 4. We saw Jaws in the theater.
Nice.
As a kid, I was not, believe this or not scared of Jaws because we live in upstate New York, and I was smart enough to realize, like my parents were like, this movie's going to be scary, but it's so cold here, there's no sharks. So, it was scary, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't go in the water, because I didn't go in the water anyway. Because back then, 7 months out of the year, it was too cold to go in the water anyway. So Jaws was up there. I saw a lot of science fiction. I saw Star Wars on its first run, Close Encounters. But I think probably it would either have to be a Godzilla or one of the Universal movies when they were on TV. It would probably be one of the first ones. And my parents were always into horror too, so... They started me out at an early age. Yeah, they were just like, it isn't real. So it's all you needed back in the 70s,
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids are, different.
My mom didn't like horror movies, wouldn't let me watch them.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I saw was at my friend's house. I think I was in 7th grade, and that was Sleepaway Camp 2 or 3. No, 3. The one with the outhouse.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's down there? Your shit. That's what's down. Like stabbing her in the back and the leeches on her face.
Yeah.
That was the first horror scene I ever saw. And I'm like, holy fuck, I need more of this now.
Yeah. I like the Sleepaway Camp series.
I have the box set upstairs.
I think I told you I met Felissa Rose over the summer, and she's great. She just totally embraces that whole thing, even though she's not in 2 and 3. But yeah, those are good flicks. I know you're a big slasher fan. What's your favorite Hey, I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your favorite slasher movie? Jason, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, what's your favorite in the series? I have unpopular suggestions about which ones are my favorite.
I like most of them.
Yeah.
I didn't like Jason Goes to Hell because it wasn't Jason.
No, I hate that movie. Yeah.
And what was the other one that wasn't Jason? 7? 6?
Well, 1.
Well, yeah, 1.
One is
mother.
Jason.
It's Mama Jason.
Now you ruined it. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
But just about any, like I like 2 and 3.
5 wasn't
5.
wasn't
Yeah,
Jason.
that's the one I was thinking.
That
of.
one sucks too. Although it has the enchilada scene. The guy's got to take the shit from the end. He's singing to his girlfriend on the toilet. Ooh, baby. It's the best.
Yeah, the black guy.
Yeah. He was in Return of the Living Dead too.
I do like mostly like my horror with a little bit of comedy though. Mm-hmm. But I find Jason hilarious sometimes too. Like the sleeping bag beating against a tree. That's classic. I mean, they brought it back in Jason X and kind of paid tribute to the original.
Yep.
Now he used to do that. Even the remake wasn't too bad.
No, for what it wasn't bad.
The only problem I had with the remake was that these kids are going in the woods to find their pot that's in the woods. Jason's there and he kills the kid. So is Jason a pot farmer just protecting his money, or is he actually like an undead?
I think that's his trap, like that he uses. I think he's smarter in that one. I didn't mind the movie. I have a weird complaint about this movie. I'm sure you're gonna rip me a new one. The girls in that movie, every one of them had fake tits. Every single one of them. It's like, where did these kids get this money? Like, that's the thing. That took me right out. That's the things I think about as I watch these movies. Like, how, as a teenage girl, did they afford this procedure? I mean, that's expensive, right? Fake boobs
it's
are
got to be
expensive.
a
It's
couple
gotta
grand,
be.
20
They all,
grand.
they all had them. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're all rich kids.
Oh, and getting back on what I was saying, 6 and 7 are my favorites.
Yeah.
My favorite one, especially 7, because he's got the look of him in that one. Like his spine is out.
Right, yeah.
That's
He's
just
more...
a great design. John Carl Buechler did that, who also did the special effects for Troll. It's all the same. It all comes back to Troll.
I mean, I love all of the Jasons, but I think I like the Kane Hodder version better. Mm-hmm. I've heard him say in interviews that like he does more for the character with more eye.
Well, that was Kane, I think, in 7.
Yeah. He says he does more like things for the character. The other guys are just plain, but he does like eye things that make. But does it really matter? I don't know. But
it does.
I really like what he does. Like the
because
character is more
physical. He's more like, and he moves. He's got a movement set that the other guys don't have. Like, look at that guy that was in Freddy versus Jason. Man. He's a piece of cardboard.
He was a tall dude, but he was just like, but there wasn't much going on.
He was like Frankenstein or something. You know, I mean, it was that cool. I mean, that scene is cool where they're in the cornfield and whatnot. But he didn't have any sense of movement.
Freddy versus Jason was like 10 years before we finally got to see it after we heard the rumors.
Yeah.
Did it live up to the expectations?
Yes and no. I think when I saw it in the theater, I was really excited, and it was hard to temper my excitement with how the movie was. But having seen it again, there's a lot of things I think I would do differently. I thought Freddy was phenomenal in it. I thought Jason was not utilized properly at all. He wasn't like Jason, and they didn't even show his fucking face. They just pulled the mask.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell is that? The kids were pretty annoying, and the CG I could have done without, because I hate CG effects.
My problem.
I've gone on record in my column every fucking week to say how much I hate CG effects. But
my problem with that movie is, number one, the people, New Line Cinema, owns Freddy for years, buy Jason's rights. Mm-hmm. And then, to me, they ruined the character. All of a sudden, now he's afraid of water.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's a kid, he drowned in water. But what one was it when he jumps out of the boat and he grabs...
Right.
He wasn't afraid of water then.
How did he get on that boat?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, he's in the water. He comes...
Jason takes Manhattan. How the hell did he get there if he was afraid of water?
He fucking swam to the boat. They showed it. Like, he's underwater. He gets electrocuted or whatever.
I think, like, he's such an unstoppable force. They're like, we need something...
Yeah.
Anything that can stop him, because I mean I like Freddy. He's not my favorite. He's probably second.
Freddy. Yeah, I like Freddy.
Second favorite. I mean, I like both of them over Michael Myers.
Yeah, me too.
Michael Myers is always cheaper to me.
And
I know friends of mine will argue all day and long about that.
I love the first Halloween and I love the second Halloween. I think my favorite Halloween's got to be the third one though, and he's not even in it because it's just such a batshit movie. The killer masks and the druids and all that.
I hate that fucking movie.
Of course you do. Of course. You got to watch it again. It's more entertaining than you think.
My wife was singing it just before.
Silver Shamrock.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to smack the shit out of you. Shut up. I don't want to hear that.
You should throw a disclaimer in there that you don't promote.
I don't actually smack my wife around.
I know her, and I know that that's not a situation.
I just kick.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. I think they got Jason and they didn't know what to do with him once they had him. They're just like, oh, he's like Frankenstein, right? He just lumbers around.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I was like,
really.
Jason's going to win. Jason's going to win. Who'd you want to win?
Jason.
Okay.
Of course.
Were you happy with the ending?
Yeah, I mean, they had to throw in that cheesy wink at the end.
Yeah, because Freddy's their baby.
Right.
I think it's why they did it.
Right. I was happy. I mean, I liked that fight, that wrestling match that they had with the blood and all that. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
I like the movie. I
like it too.
I'll watch it if it's on TV or every once in a while I'll pop it in.
There's a couple in the series like you were saying that I despise. Goes to hell. I hate that. Fucking movie.
Me too.
I hate it. And I went to I'm old enough to have seen a bunch of those in the theater, and I saw that one, and I was just so pissed. I was like, this is terrible. He's not even in it. What's the point? You know?
Jason X, good or bad?
I enjoyed it for the comic book that it was. You know what I mean?
I liked it.
It was over the top. It was cool. It was something different. Jason was Jason again.
Yeah.
So
I like the revamped Jason. I like that his mask hit the new water on the new planet, and it could be more movies. Like,
right.
I'm hoping, but
there was tie-ins to that I want to say that there was a series of novels that came out at the time that expanded that particular storyline, the
Right.
Jason X storyline. I haven't read them. Just like there's the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comics,
Yeah.
which are really good. Those are good.
I haven't read those.
Oh, you'd like those.
No, I haven't. I don't keep up. Like I got a bunch of Crossed up there. My buddy keeps letting me borrow, and I never finish.
You can get pretty good collections of that stuff. Some of the Army of Darkness comics are really good too. So
What do you think of the show?
I love it. Absolutely love
I
it.
just yesterday caught up on the 7th episode
Mm-hmm.
because for like 2 weeks I forgot about it.
That's a good sign.
No, it's like I like it. Well, I
Uh-huh.
other thing like my band played
Right.
last Saturday, and
Right.
then
Keep sliding on this chair. It's going to sound like I'm farting through the whole interview.
it's a very slippery chair, but they're comfortable.
They are
I
comfortable.
bought them for D&D because you're sitting for such a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Ash, I love Ash.
Mm-hmm.
I love the character of Ash. There's a couple scenes I watched, like in the diner scene.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been a little more of a prick, I think,
Yeah.
like an older Ash version.
Yeah.
But maybe now that he's older, he's calmed down a little bit.
You know, and it's tough too because they don't want to tread too far into the Army of Darkness version of Ash
Right, 'cause they don't own
can't.
it, yeah.
Right, so they're kind of trying to like, hey, I'm kind of like Ash from the second movie, but I got some of the asshole traits from the third movie. But I'm not quite as big of an asshole
Yeah.
as I, you know.
Because we all fell in love with Army of Darkness Ash.
Of course.
I mean,
Yeah.
Evil Dead 1, straight up horror, not
Yep.
much comedy.
Nope.
For those who haven't seen it, I think that was one like my second or third horror movie. And that
I-
pencil in the ankle.
I saw that movie
still in my brain.
very, very early on its VHS release, and yeah, it was magical. Like
Yeah.
the gore, everything, the awesome, just it was such a trendsetter. And I mean, like, you've never seen a movie where a forest rapes a woman. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that? What am I watching?
Now
why,
they're everywhere.
Why am I allowed? Yeah, now it's there. Hey, you can't go outside without getting raped by a tree. But
That's a second.
it's just weird, like, to think like now that movie in Evil Dead 10, we'll get back. I'm still on the conversation from you, but at the time, those things were such trendsetters, you know. And there was nothing like it, Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2.
What about the Evil Dead remake?
My wife is weird. Let me preface this conversation with that. She does not like horror movies that are more like slasher movies or things, but if something is super ultra gory and things, she'll sit there and watch it and like it. And she liked the Evil Dead series, and she watched that with me. I think it's a good introduction. I hate saying shit like this. I think it's a good introduction for people that aren't familiar with the series, that they can easily pick it up and it's a little bit more sophisticated, and maybe that can ease them into it, and then they'll be like, oh, where did this come from? And then they see, you know, the good ones in the series. And then, but I guess now the show is fulfilling that function.
Yeah, true.
But I don't think it was terrible for what it was. I like the fact that it wasn't really, I'm going to ruin the movie, it wasn't really a remake. It was, I mean, the car was still there.
Yeah.
Things had happened.
It was loosely based on.
It was loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a sequel.
The chainsaw scene at the end was great.
Yeah.
I waited, like,
Yeah.
to me, if they
The
just,
gore was
yeah,
phenomenal.
if they didn't call it Evil Dead,
Yeah.
I would have been like, this is a great horror movie.
Yeah.
But since it had Evil Dead on it, I
You would have been, but
expected-
then the whole time you've been like, "We'll fucking rip off Evil Dead." This fucking thing is.
Yeah,
'Cause you're
probably.
a horror fan,
Yeah, true.
and that's what we all do. We bitch. There's always something to fucking bitch about.
every time there's a cabin in a movie, I'm like, fucking Evil Dead.
It's
ripoff.
fucking yeah. So, you know,
Could be Grizzly Adams. It came up before.
right? It's
Like,
fucking
oh,
Evil
that's
Dead
fucking-
ripoff.
It's like Evil Dead without the gore.
It's a book about Abraham Lincoln. What the fuck are you talking about? He's in a cabin. But
He hunts vampires, so.
yeah, now he does. But I think all in all, it was a good movie. I own it, obviously, because I'm a horror fan. That's the other horror curse. If we like something, even if there's elements of sequels we don't like, we still buy every fucking one of them.
I have 4 copies of Army of Darkness, all different versions.
The new one from Scream Factory is so worth your money. I can't even. I might have mentioned it to you before. It's amazing. Like the documentary that's on there is, I think Red Shirt produced it, if I'm not mistaken, who does a lot of supplements. It's longer than the movie, and it's just great. Like it details every element, and there's so much stuff like I didn't know about that was cut out, and there's cool like production art and ways the scenes were supposed to be, and then they ran out of money, and yeah, it's great.
I haven't. Today was my last day of school, but the kids in my class. Oh, this is gonna make you feel old. There's a girl in my class. She was born in 1997.
Great.
She was born when Final Fantasy VII came out.
That's great. Yeah.
How old is that? I'm like, Jesus
That
Christ, I could be your father.
Right. Yeah. Literally. Like I totally could be.
But it surprises me how much of the old horror movies and stuff they know. Like I'll say a reference, I'm like, they're not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Half of them do. Some
It
of them
depends.
don't.
You know, horror isn't like when we were growing up, and especially when I was growing up, horror was more of like the underground thing. There was like 4 or 5 kids at school that were kind of into it, and they would borrow my Fangos or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's just like everybody. Like, I guess it's good that there's PG-13 accessible horse shit, like whatever, Insidious. Maybe those are, I don't know, Conjuring and junk like that. It gets the kids in. I mean, it's a good indoctrination
Yeah, I guess,
into horror, and then maybe they seek out things like. I mean, I don't think they're gonna go from watching The Conjuring to Cannibal Holocaust or something like that, but not like we did in the day. I mean, like there was a horror section at the video store. I mean, it's so sad that this is gone. You used to go in and you just rent by the box cover. And,
Yeah,
and they would let you rent.
This looks cool.
And they'd let you rent anything. I mean, there was no, hey kid, I think I better call your. They didn't give a shit if your money was there. They didn't care.
It's like, this girl's got a noose for hair. I want to see this movie.
Right.
April Fool's Day.
Right. Yeah. That one wasn't as
That song
scary
at
as
the
you
end, like,
anticipated.
too bad you're wacko, or whatever.
That was much more of
cheesy.
a comedy
Yeah.
than anything. Yeah. So what the fuck were we talking about? We were talking about Evil Dead. Yeah. So the remake, it was good for what it was. I thought. Did you see the porn, Evil Head?
No, I have not seen that.
Oh,
I will be Googling that later.
that is phenomenal. The way it tries to be faithful to the first Evil Dead, you're gonna.
I have seen Horror of the Rings, if you haven't seen that.
I haven't seen Horror of the Rings, but Evil Head, I promise you're gonna be like, Dan, thank you so much for telling me about this.
I like my porn to have a story that's worse than the one they're ripping off. Like, it's so, like, Horror of the Rings.
It has parts of it that are worse than Evil Dead. Like,
We should review Horror of the Rings.
The thing about Evil Head is that they realized probably like 3/4 of the way into it that there weren't enough characters to have sex with, so they're just like, here's the zombies of Ash's dead girlfriends from the past, and you're just like, okay, whatever. The tree is in it though.
It's like, well, I didn't have to watch that far anyway. 5 minutes into the porno, I'm done.
Right, yeah, I'm done.
There's more movie than that? I don't know.
I had to. I actually reviewed it for an old site I used to write for it, where they would let me review absolutely anything.
I think Horror of the Rings got like a -47 review on...
Who?
What was it? Something Awful?
Like Rotten Tomatoes or something?
No,
Who's
Something
reviewing
Awful,
that?
I think, was doing it. They do like these... I mean, they do a lot of bad movies, and surprisingly, I've seen most of the movies they review on there.
The Evil Head isn't bad. It's definitely... I sort of know the guy that made it, and Evil Dead is his favorite movie, so he wasn't going to fuck this up.
Oh, so
he's
did.
actually a guy that used to work, and he still does work for Troma, but he does porn as well. So he did Repenetrator and the Triple Exorcist, and then this one, Evil Head.
Trauma and porn aren't that far apart. Like, I've seen quite a few trauma movies where it's on that border.
Horror and porn go together
Yeah.
reasonably well, surprisingly.
That's what I'm thinking of. Terra Firma or Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Eating his own dick.
Yep.
Or they
Based-
force-fed his own
It's
his
probably
dick.
based on a true story.
That's a good movie. I like that movie.
Yeah, Trauma's good. I have a story I'll tell you off camera about them. It makes me not too happy with them, but
Trauma's hit and miss with me. Like Redneck Zombies, I cannot watch that movie.
yeah, I know you said
It's
that
so
before.
cheesy, but like it's filmed in, was it like Greeno Vision or what? It's,
standards that I just don't have. I don't know where you got these lofty cinematic standards from.
Terra Firma I could watch repeatedly. Romeo and Juliet. Poltergeist is probably one of my favorite movies.
Share it again.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Must have been that bean I had for dinner.
Should have ate those 10 burritos before I came over here.
But like Redneck Zombies, I can't do. I get like halfway through it, and I'm like, this is just too. Which is odd for me because I'll watch Ginger Dead Man. I'll watch
Right.
the first one.
Not the other two.
I haven't seen the other two, so I can't.
What about
say.
Evil Bong?
Evil Bong I saw once. It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. There's more of those, I think, too. I think they made more.
Better
of
than
those.
Killer Condom
Yeah.
or Rabid Grandies.
The
list goes on and
about
on.
that. Rabid Grannies. That was entertaining.
For a while there, I was just ordering Trauma DVDs like left and right.
Killer Condom. They released that, right? That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't make that though. That was a German movie. H.R. Giger did the design of the condom. Believe that or not. Look it up. It's true. Look it up. How they got him, I do not know.
He's probably old and senile at the time, right?
I don't know. Did you watch that documentary about him on Netflix?
No, I haven't yet. Is it good?
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Because it's definitely him at the end. You know, he dies.
Yeah.
You know, obviously. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get through. But his house is just like, whoa. You know, his personal assistant is the lead singer of Celtic Frost.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, what the fuck?
There's a kid in my class. He's 18 wearing a Celtic Frost shirt.
How does he even know?
I'm like, those guys have been like
Right.
they were broken up before you were born.
Right, exactly.
I think. I don't know.
How does he even know?
They haven't been relevant since like 80s,
No.
mid 80s maybe.
No. They might still be around.
I remember like more of hearing the name and seeing them in magazines than actually ever listening
the
to
cover
them.
art, the
Yeah.
album art. They always had those really epic paintings and shit. Like Manowar.
Yeah, Manowar. There's another band. Me and my friend bought a tape of Manowar just by the cover.
Right.
Popped it in his tape deck
What were
in
you
the car.
thinking? Because that's a lot of naked dude on the cover. Like, what were you, like when you saw this, were you like,
I don't know. We thought it was
this is
some
like
kind
Conan?
of epic battle,
Right.
like.
Right.
And it was like, I don't remember what the words were, something like horses made of steel or something like that. It's like,
course.
horses made of steel. Like that. We took it out, we're like, fuck this, right out the window. We're like right around the corner from Over the Rainbow when it used to be open. That's where we bought it.
I bought a lot of my stuff there. My first Typo Negative stuff came from there. My first Misfits stuff came from there.
It's sad to see that place go. It was.
I used to love going to that place.
Clickety-click
That
of
won't
the-
come up on the,
of the
on
dog.
the audio at all, will it?
We'll have to cut his feet off. That's all I got for you anyway. We're just kind of rambling on about horror movies at
I
this
like
point.
rambling though. Rambling is good. People like to hear me ramble. That's why they read my column. or don't read it, for all I know.
Yeah, he's just pissing on the floor now.
You gotta cut that out. It's not funny.
He's like, here's my input on your
He
horror
was
movies.
looking at me too. He was like, "What are you gonna do about it?"
That's what he does. The other day, true story. The other day, he's in the kitchen and he's eating out of the bowl. At the same time, his ass is bent down and he's shitting while he's eating. It's like going in one end and straight out the other. Like he was so full, every piece of kibble, I pushed another piece out.
He just doesn't care.
He's 15 and he's senile and he lost his what do you call it? Potty training.
His
And,
mind.
yeah. Now he's taking a shit on the floor. And did you hear it hit?
Oh man, that's rough.
He's got lead turds, man. It's just
It's not funny, but it fucking is.
all right. I think that's it for the show. And on that note, we will end it.
Uh-huh.